All right, in a couple seconds, we'll be here live on Facebook. Everyone look alive. Autumn, you ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. Good, good, good.
Ariana, can barely see you. Okay, there you go. Move your camera so we can see your face. It was kind of like you were laid back a little bit there, like you were in the recliner.
All right, we're live on Facebook, everyone. Before we get started here, all of our Facebook fans and friends who have been waiting for us since 6:30, we've been working through some technical difficulties with Zoom. But nonetheless, we are here. Our team group is here. Our mentor group is here. So we're still ready to have some fun, even though we are 28 minutes late to the party, our own party. We are still ready to have a good time. So with no further ado, we're going to jump right into our introductions. We've got a great group here with us tonight. We've got an outstanding guest who is not a stranger to the Tampa Bay area. So we're going to kick it off to our teens. So obviously you all are going to give your name, age, and what school you attend. And our icebreaker question for tonight is, you're stuck on a desert island and I'm dropping you off one meal. What would it be? You're on the island and you're hungry. You haven't eaten for days. What am I dropping off for you to eat? So I'm going to swing Ari. I'm going to start with you, Ari. Introduce yourself to the Facebook family.
Hi, I'm Ariana. I'm 13. I go to Progress Village Middle Magnet School. And to answer your question, I would do chicken wings.
Chicken wings, just wings. That's all you want is wings, no fries, no ranch, blue cheese, just the wings, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I can do that. That'd be real cheap. I can handle that one. Yahara representing Forest Hills. Introduce yourself to the family.
My name is Yahara. I go to Chamberlain High School. I'm 15. And one meal, I think I had like some shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. Okay. I might have to get my mom or something to cook that for you. I have to find that someone. I don't know how to cook that, so I have to get somebody else to drop that off for you. But I'll make it happen for you too. Just the shepherd's pie. That's it. You all aren't. What are you all going to drink? Eric didn't want to drink. You don't want to drink?
Some water.
Water. Okay, you're gonna go the health route. Okay, you don't have to front in front of everybody. We know you want a Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or something. It's okay. All good, all good. Autumn, swinging your way. Autumn, introduce yourself to the Facebook family.
My name is Autumn. I'm 14. I go to Tampa Bay Tech, and one meal that I would eat is macaroni and chicken.
Okay.
Macaroni and chicken. Okay, now I can get down with that. Macaroni and chicken. Coach Hayden, who's always here with us on Facebook Live, representing the staff at the Forest Hills Community Center. Coach Hayden, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Hayden. I've been working here at Forest Hills for almost 6 years now. And I think the meal I would want is an extra large pizza.
Oh, with the works or just cheese? I know you want some toppings, right?
Pepperoni.
Oh,
pizza.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Extra large pepperoni pizza. I can dig it. Miss Regina, the one of our founders of our TLC program here at Tampa Parks and Rec, took a week off last week from us last Facebook Live, but she's back with us again. Miss Regina, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. I am Regina McBride Smith. I'm a team supervisor too in Tampa Parks and Recreation. And I would want a nice crispy salad, and you can toss a few shrimp on it for me. And I want a piece of lemon meringue pie for dessert too.
Okay, I can bring dessert to you too. Absolutely. Also here with us tonight, I think this young man probably needs no introduction to the Tampa Bay area, but he's got one of his young man here with him tonight. So Mr. Freddie represents Safe and Sound Hillsborough, the man about town. Introduce yourself, and then we'll let the young fella that's there with you introduce himself as well.
Yeah, for sure. So Freddie Barton, I'm the director for Safe and Sound Hillsborough. We're the Violence Prevention Collaborative of Hillsborough County. And I'm also just a community advocate, community volunteer, and most importantly, I'm a father of 2 young Black kings. And this is here. And yeah, if I got stranded on the island and I could have any meal, brother, you need to bring me a nice steak. I'm gonna need,
Oh man.
you need some potatoes. I'm gonna need it medium rare.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna need. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. So
okay, I can dig it. I can dig that, Freddie, man. You can definitely hang out there.
That's
absolutely. Who you got there with you tonight?
All right, this is my oldest son, TJ. I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
My name is TJ Barton. I'm a junior. I go to Sumner High School. To answer to your question, I would say chicken flavor ramen noodles.
Brother. Come on, man. Let's talk about this now. You've been hungry on the island for a couple of days, and you want me to bring you a bowl of ramen noodles, brother? Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I see Dad shaking his head too, so I'm gonna leave. That must be your thing. That's your go-to meal, huh?
Yeah.
I can dig it. I can dig it. I don't think I introduced myself, so I'll circle back. I'm Jamal Jefferson. I'm the site supervisor here at the one and only NFL Center here at Parks and Rec. I've been here 11 years last month with the city of Tampa. And for that meal, I gotta have my mom's spaghetti. I gotta have it with some garlic bread. That'll be my meal. So definitely, if I'm on that island, someone please get me a bowl of mom's spaghetti, and I'll be all right. I'll survive. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into our topic. Our topic tonight is Dear Adults, and we've done a Dear Adults series before on our closed team talk session with our large group. So we thought that we would run it back with a smaller group so that we can converse and dialogue for the Facebook Live group. And Dear Adults is all about the true teens perspective. Those of you all like me and Freddie and Miss Regina, those of us who have teenagers in our lives, that we just want some insight on how we can communicate what you all are going through. If we could maybe pull that teen curtain back and see what you all are dealing with that can help us help you all. That's what Dear Adults is all about. So those of you all who are watching, those parents, those educators, those community activists, those of you all who are engaging with teens on a daily basis, this session is for you. We want you to take heed to what these young people are saying. They're going to give you honest, real answers on how they feel and what they see in the teen world, because we all think we know. We want to think that we have the best idea of what's going on with teens, but what better way to find out than to hear it from them? So we're going to jump right in with our first question. Autumn, I'm going to start with you. What is the toughest thing about being a teenager today? What's the most difficult thing that you can think of that you all deal with that maybe us as adults may not know? Autumn, you up first.
Can you come back to me?
I'll circle back to you. Ari, coming your way. What's the toughest thing about being a teenager these days?
I would probably say trying to understand life.
Trying to understand life. Okay. Well, and what parts of life are you trying to understand and figure out? Like today, what are some of the things that you're trying to figure out?
That's a good question. Maybe I guess learning more things about ourselves that we don't know about.
Okay, trying to understand where you fit into it all, right? Understanding, what's going on. Absolutely. Yahari, coming your way. What's the toughest thing about being a teenager at Chamberlain High School? Give it to us.
Is in high school or just in
No, just in general. I just threw Chamberlain in there because I know that's what school you go to. But in general, what are some of the toughest things that you're dealing with?
trying to get adults to understand the way I feel sometimes.
Okay, and how difficult is getting us? I'm gonna say us because I'm an adult too. How difficult is it to get us to understand how you feel?
Slightly, only because most adults are like, they're like, you don't have a reason to feel that way, but they don't really like listen to everything that comes out of the kid's mouth.
Okay, so you feel like sometimes your feelings are being like shoved aside or discounted, or maybe people are trying to tell you how you feel. Okay, and how do you try to get those feelings across? Is it just by conversation? Is it body language? Is it nonverbal communication? How do you try to express those feelings that we may not be catching?
All of the above.
All of the above. Okay, that was an easy one. TJ, swinging your way. And TJ, you got to be real with me, man. Even though your pop's sitting next to you, man, give us some real. Give us some real. What's the toughest thing about being a teenager these days, brother?
Learning to be an adult.
Okay, learning to be an adult. And how's it going so far? What kind of things are you learning about adulthood?
To be a man.
Okay.
Responsible.
Okay, absolutely. And Freddie, while I got TJ going, I know you work with teens on a daily basis. What are some of the difficulties that you see our teens having out there today?
Yeah, like, as much, and we're using it right now, man, but social media, man, it's just that's probably, even though everybody uses it, we have fun with it, with Facebook and TikTok and all that, it sometimes is creating more problems than anything, man. And I'm hearing that from just some of the young brothers that I work with. They got so much drama before they even get to school because they're looking at everything on social media, and it causes some problems. And then the other thing, sad to say, is a lot of our kids, a lot of our boys and girls too, they don't have that male influence, that male role model, and it's hard to try to navigate these waters without somebody there. That's why, they got people like you and, everybody else. But, for some of our kids, they don't have that strong role model in their life. And you expect them to be adults and to grow up, but we're not putting the examples in front of them. So it's hard, man.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Ms. Regina, swinging your way. I know you were excited about our Dear Adult series and jumping into the conversation. What are some of the things you see that our teens are going through? You work with teens all across the city and have for a long time. So maybe expound a little bit on that.
Well, everybody knows how I feel about social media, so we don't really have to go there tonight. But since Mr. Barton brought it up, I'll just tag on to that one. This social media thing, and don't get me wrong, we appreciate it. There are a lot of opportunities and things that I didn't have when I was a teen growing up. I certainly probably would have been much more advanced in certain areas, but it does have a tendency to pose problems at times, not always. It's not a bad thing, but sometimes it's how it's used. And it kind of like can, send our teenagers down a wrong trail from time to time. And then we don't have the physical activity that we used to have, back in the day. And I've seen, a decline a lot. We don't go out and do stuff. We don't do sports like we used to at one time. We're not involved in extracurricular activities like we were at one time. And that kind of, it kind of saddens me a little bit. I know that, even with the diet and the things that our young people eat now, and the fact that, type 2 diabetes among children is on the rise. And, there are health concerns now that we didn't even think about when I was a teenager, or even 15 or 20 years ago. So things are changing now, but teens have it rough. We didn't have the issues and the concerns that teenagers have nowadays. And I'm glad that I'm not a teenager. I got to just be perfectly honest with you, because teenagers, they have a hard way to go sometimes, but they're resilient. That's one thing that we have to say. Teenagers are extremely resilient and creative these days, and as smart as can be.
Absolutely, they are, and you touched on it. You know, a lot of the things, even myself, their teens are dealing with that I never. In high school, the internet was just kicking off. There definitely weren't apps and cell phones, so I wouldn't. I can only imagine what my high school, middle school experience would have been like had all of this technology been at our fingertips. So we definitely understand that it's a new ball game out there for these teams. Coach Hayden, coming your way over there at Forest Hills and some of the teams that you work with all across the city. What are some of the things you hear that they're having difficulty with?
I think most of them have difficulty understanding that adults only want what's best for them. They'll end up sometimes saying, well, they're only doing this just to be mean or a pain in the butt, but they only want what's best for them. And sometimes they don't look at it that way.
Absolutely. That's a great answer, and we say it all the time. Like, well, I'm only looking out for you. And sometimes that sounds like rhetoric to a teenager because I want to speak for all teenagers and say they think we don't know what the heck we're talking about. Probably 99% of the time, right? We don't know what's going on. We never seen that movie before and know how it ends, right? So it definitely goes both ways. But piggybacking off of that first question, we'll run right into the second question in Ari. I'll start with you on this one. We talked about some of the difficulties, right, and some of the things that you all are going through. Give me something specific that adults just don't understand about teenagers. What's a couple things, or maybe one thing specifically that you say my mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, teacher they just don't understand?
I would say probably how we feel about certain things, because sometimes adults might have a different perspective on things and might not like feel the same way about how we feel about something, and they might not understand it.
Okay, so let's talk specifically. Give me an example of something that adults we just don't understand. If you can think of something specifically.
Maybe like if we don't understand something and they may say, oh, it's not that hard or something like that. I guess like that's kind of like an example. I can't really think of anything from the top of my head, but that's like what I can say.
Right, and I'll throw some examples out there, and the rest of you all can put some thought into it. Music, video games, social media, like Freddie and Miss Regina talked about. Some adults just don't understand like the music. I like to consider myself cool, but some of the stuff I hear, I just don't understand it. I see Freddie shaking his head as well. I think I'm cool, but some of the stuff that I hear, and it's completely over my head. So we think about music and video games and social media and some of the new movies and just everything that we just, I'm going to flat out say I just don't understand some of it. Autumn, coming your way. If you can think about that, something specifically that we just don't understand about you all.
Okay, so sometimes they don't understand that we can make choices that like we're not going to regret, like good choices, not bad choices.
Okay, so understand. So let's stay right there for a second. So you said understanding that you all are going to make good choices, right? So I think part of understanding that is about like the communication, right? And trust. You have to develop that. Adults have to feel like you all are prepared enough to make those good decisions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you feel like you get that opportunity? You feel like you get an opportunity to maybe make a decision? Because every decision we all make is not going to be right. So there's going to be a time or two where you say, I probably should have done something different. Do you feel like you get that opportunity in school or at home or in the community here at Jackson Heights where you spend a lot of time? You feel like you get a chance to make those decisions and go through it?
Yeah.
You do? And okay, so let's stay there. Let's talk about that. So if it doesn't work out the way you thought it would, then what's the conversation after that? Yeah, you weren't ready for that part of that question, were you?
No.
So when you circle back around after that, after whatever decision you made may not have gone the way you wanted to, do you come back and have a conversation about it, or are you waiting for someone else to kind of talk about it?
Have a conversation about it.
Okay, you initiate the conversation. Cool. TJ, swinging your way, brother. Give me something that we just don't understand about it, man.
I would agree with you on video games and probably style.
Right. That's a good one. I forgot about that. The fashion. Skinny big jeans just wasn't a thing when I was in school, right? See Freddie shaking his head too. Freddie,
Yeah.
jump on that question too while TJ's in there, man.
Man, yeah. So definitely the fashion, but I got to go on record and say that I don't have fashion sense. So I know black matches white and black matches black. That's what I know. So seeing all these colors and different, but I guess it's the level of creativity that they have. Kind of on the music tip, I think like if someone really wants to make money for adults, you know, to spend money, these kids need to come with a Rosetta Stone because
They do.
and I'm like you, Jamal. I think I'm cool. You know, I play sports, I hang with kids, I work with kids every day. I can't understand half the things that come out their mouth. It's a whole different language that they speak. And I'm constantly checking in with both of my sons saying, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Why do you say this when you can just say this? And they tell me straight up, because that's just the way we talk. And you need to understand, if you want to relate to us, you need to speak like us, right? But then also, you know, my son was talking about video games and all. I have to constantly check myself because they have their own outlets. Just like when I was growing up, I had my outlets. There were things that I did to pass my time by, but these kids are resourceful. You could have never told me when I was in high school that somebody could make $1 million playing video games. You can never tell me that somebody could make $1 million having people watch them play video games. And this is the world and the subculture that they live in. And so, you know, they're so resourceful. And I give them a shout out. You know, these kids are smart. They can create something out of nothing. I remember taking him out of town, and we tried to take, I think it was like the Xbox or something like that. We couldn't figure out how to hook it. I couldn't figure out how to hook it up. And he made it work by hooking it through a lamp in the room or something, right? It was like something weird, man. And I looked at him and I was like, "You are an engineer in the making," you know, but they are learning right now how to just create something out of nothing. So we got to give them a shot. We got to listen to them all the time, man. But the only way I can listen is I need a Rosetta Stone. I need y'all to tell me. I didn't know for a while that when you say cap, that meant you were lying. I still didn't understand how you get cap to make a lie, but you know, I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm cool, right?
Yeah, I think we all are, man. I think we're all. Miss Regina, I want you to chime in, but I think we all are learning. I learn a lot from the teams I work with. Autumn can tell you. Sometimes I just sit amongst them and just listen, because I think a couple of them said we have to relate to them, and adults and parents and teachers and those who work with teens. We all, I think I said it on the last Facebook Live, the music we listened to was considered the most outrageous stuff in the world. NWA, Two Live Crew, all that stuff was so out of bounds for that time. And people, I'm sure, said the same thing about our generation, is that music is going to tear their minds up. Those video games back then, it was Mortal Kombat and like stuff that kids think are silly now. We say, man, that stuff, they thought that stuff was the worst thing in the world. And I find myself sometimes being the old man in the room and saying that music is ridiculous, but that's the music they like. They relate to it. They like it. It helps. So I'm with you, Freddie, man. It's just, I give them a shout out too, because there are a lot of things that we're over here at the Yet Center that I can't figure out, and I'll turn my back and they'll have it up and running in minutes. The teams actually set up our smart TV in our game room. It wasn't me, it wasn't the staff. We left it in there for a minute and they were playing the PS4 on it. So I get it. Miss Regina, you wanted to chime in a little bit?
I thought I was on mute. I'm laughing because I'm hearing exactly what you're saying, and it's just so true. You know, these teenagers, they're so resourceful. They can come up with some of the most creative ways to get things done. Like you just said, here I am with the, the instructions, the manual, trying to do something, and I'm on page 3 and they're done with the whole thing and wondering what's taking me so long, you know? So yeah, and it's like they get even younger, you know, even the 9 and 10-year-olds, you know, and I a 6-year-old grandson. He'll be 7 in June. And this kid knows how to do things on these telephones. And you see these kids, they're playing these video games on these phones and everything. I can remember when they were first talking about Skyping. And I remember vividly saying, there's no way they'll ever have a phone that you can talk on and see the person at the same time. But you got to remember, I'm from the party line days.
I don't think they know what that is, Mr. J. You might have to explain it to the young people.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But yeah, these kids are absolutely amazing in what they're able to do. Teenagers, we just keep saying over and over, and it is so true. You know, they're very resourceful. They take what they have and they work with it, and they're always getting ready to go to the next level. I'm just really anxious to see what's going to happen 5 years from now, because with Zoom that came up, and whoever would think that we would be doing what we're doing tonight, even the teenagers have this opportunity. What's going to happen 5 years from now? So yeah,
absolutely. I think in a lot of ways, and I tell the teens here all the time, but they're taking me on the ride. You know, they're guiding me through the technology world. I'm guiding them through life and some of the things that I've been through, but I can't really help them on the technology part. So that part, I'm sitting in the passenger seat and they're driving, because, you know, some of the things that they're doing and going through, I'm learning on the back end. So definitely, I appreciate them. TJ, I'm gonna swing your way, man. We're gonna get into some fun stuff. Give me like the best thing about being a teenager. What is the thing that when you wake up in the morning at 17, you think, man, it's good to be a teenager?
No bills.
Yeah, that's a real thing, man. Because if you need any extra bills, I know your dad got some, but if you need some extra ones, man, Coach Jamal got a couple of them for you. So you said no bills. Anything else you can think of that's just real dope about being a teenager right now?
I would say.
And the rest of y'all put some thought into Autumn, Ari, Yahara, put some thought in that. What's the dopest part about being a teenager? I'll circle back to you, TJ. How about that? Put a few minutes into it, and I'll circle back to you. Ari, coming your way. What's the best thing? I see you got a smile on your face already. What's the best thing about being a teenager?
I would probably say getting to experience things while we're young, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That makes a whole lot of sense, because when you get my age, there's certain things you just have to do, right? It ain't all about fun and games. So absolutely. Can you think of anything else that's just really dope about being a teenager?
Probably, I can't think of nothing else.
How about not like TJ said, the piggyback on his point, not having a whole lot of responsibility, right? Like you really just wake up, go to school, get good grades. I hope, you know, everything's pretty much brought to your doorstep. So bills and no having no responsibility, definitely two great ones. Yahara, coming your way. Give us the most fun thing about being a teenager right now.
I think it's being able to go out and do things without parental supervision.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Without parental supervision. Okay, so when you say, does that make things more fun? I'm assuming it's more fun without the supervision, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference between going out and doing things with parental supervision and without?
With it, parents are most likely going to say no to certain things that you want to do. And without them there, you can just do it.
Okay, so you can kind of freestyle a little bit without the parents around. Now, hold on, don't leave yet. You try to mute yourself. Don't mute yourself, because we're going to stay on that for a second, because I think this is good for parents to hear, right? So when you are out without your parents, does that change like your environment, your behavior, the way you act, the way you talk? Like what's the difference in that? Are you a different person when you're with your parents than without?
Yes.
Okay, that's an honest answer. And is that for the good or for the bad? Hopefully for the good.
It depends on what the good is.
Okay, so are you? Because my niece was the same way with me, right? She got to a certain age that she didn't want to hang out with me anymore, and I'm kind of going through that at home right now. Well, my 13-year-old in my house, he don't really want to do things with me. Freddie, I see you shaking your head, right? So is it because you think you can be more of like your personality can shine a little bit more? You don't have to be reserved when mom and dad is around. Is that kind of how that works? Tell some of these parents
Yeah.
what the difference is, because somebody might need to know this. I need to know.
You put it in perfect wording. We can be more of how we are naturally walking around school and walking home from school on the bus type stuff than when we're actually in front of you guys. And then we kind of like lock it all back up.
Okay, so it's us that are holding you all back, right? That's what you said. We're holding you back. Okay, I
I'm
get it.
not saying that. I'm just saying it's like,
It's a difference.
I don't know.
I mean, I was a teenager. I ain't like hanging out with my pops and my moms at some point. I get it. Autumn, coming your way. What's the coolest thing about, other than coming to the Yet Center, what's the coolest thing about being a teenager?
So basically, I don't really have to do nothing, you know?
Okay.
Because like, I really just have to go to school and get good grades. Cause you know, like when I do that, you know, my parents like give me anything.
Okay, so not a lot of responsibility. Like, you know, parents, my mom and dad used to say your only job is to go to school, do your chores, and don't get in any trouble, right? That was an easy thing. Freddie, I'm swinging your way. I know I see you shaking your head, man. Jump in.
Man, so I think because they're so, you know, the best thing about being a teenager is, I mean, they can just do things now that, you know, I wish I could do. You know, like I'm playing ball with them, and in my mind, I'm about to cross everybody up. That's what happening in my mind. Now, by the time the brain gets to the body, none of that happens, you know, and I'm hurt for the next couple of days. So the fact that they can recover, they've got energy for days. You know, at certain days, I wake up trying to get out, you know, trying to get out of bed is like starting up an old Buick. You know, it's going to take a minute. You know?
Oh, man.
and y'all will get there too one day. But I think that's the cool, you know, and of course, not having too much responsibility. And then just as an adult looking back, knowing that you have the time to, you know, just kind of figure things out. You know, I mean, right now, adulting is serious.
Oh, it's real.
You know, those responsibilities. I'm in charge of his safety and well-being and his brothers and all that. But right now, you got time to figure out what you want to do, and you've got some time to make the mistakes in life and recover from them and all. So, I just think that's pretty dope, man.
It really is. It really is. Coach Hayden, I'm going to swing your way. So looking back on, I think you might be the youngest one of the adults on here with us tonight. Looking back on your teenage years and kind of what you see the kids going through now, what do you think is like cool that they have or they're doing now that maybe we didn't have or you didn't have?
Well, I feel like everything that they have, I had, all the social media and stuff. I just, because I'm only 23, so it's not that big of an age gap. But yeah, I don't see any difference between me or them of what they have.
And so let's stay there for a second. So what was the coolest thing about like your teenage years, since you're relatively close to what teens are the age they are now? What was the dopest thing about your teenage years?
Maybe high school sports. That was always fun. In track meets, you get to not go to school because track meets are pretty much almost all day long. So you get to miss a day of school sometimes. So that was cool.
Absolutely. Miss Regina, you want to jump in here a little bit?
Yeah, we didn't get to miss school when we did track. You just had to do more the next day.
He's a lot younger than us, Miss Regina. They got some perks we didn't get.
I know, right? Well, you know what? Teenagers can establish some goals. They can establish dreams and live them out. You know, just think about some things. Just be creative and think of some things and you know, just go ahead on and take the initiative and set those goals for yourself. Whether it's a 1-year goal or whether it's a 2-year or 3-year goal, just think of some things that maybe even you see other people doing and you feel like you can do it as well or even better. You know, don't be afraid to set goals for yourself and don't be afraid to work on them. Get it done. Autumn, yes, ma'am. Autumn's hand is up. Autumn has a goal.
Autumn, go ahead, get back in and I'll jump in after you.
Okay, I just want to add something else. Like, dang, what was I just gonna say?
You lost your train of thought that quick.
Young for that, girl.
Let me jump in and then you come in after me. So piggybacking off of what Freddie said, right? When you get to be our age or an adult, right? I think one of the dopest things about being a teenager is you can try and fail a lot. And there's no harm, no foul, right? Because me at 42 with a 13-year-old at home and a mortgage and a career, and Freddie the same, Miss Regina, I know your kids are adults, but the same things applies, right? When you get to be my age, you're going to get to try a whole lot of things and fail because there's a lot of people who are depending on you, who need you to show up and, as the teenagers say, show up and show out when it's time, right? So being a young person, you get the opportunity to try, like the old saying, the world is your oyster, right? You can try everything. You can test out jobs, and your first job can be at McDonald's. You can say, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to move on and do something else. Us, the adults, I can't just leave my job because I don't like it. You know what I mean? I can't just reset the button like I do on the video game, right? Those are things that we can't do. So as a young person, you really have an opportunity to just try the things that you like and see what works for you. And working through middle school and high school, and if you go to college or a trade school, you know, you have a lot of time to figure out what you want to do. So I think that's the dope of that youth, right? Like, you know, you think about what you all have the opportunity to do now. The opportunities are endless. You all can do, like Freddie said, these gamers are making $1 million, and these YouTube influencers, these cats are living in mansions and driving foreign cars, and all they do is go on YouTube and get people to watch their videos and like and subscribe. Like, why didn't I think of that back in the day? I just want to sit in my house and be silly and have people like and subscribe and send me money. You would have never thought that would have been a career, but universities have gaming teams now. You can get a scholarship to college as a gamer. Think about that. You know, those opportunities to do different things is really dope because you don't have to just play. Back in the day, you had to play ball, run track, or be quote unquote a nerd to get a scholarship. But right now you can do so many things and go to school and work things out, man. And I think that's the dope part about it. They just have opportunities that we would have never dreamed of. So I think that part is dope. Autumn, you ready to jump back in? You got your thought together?
I was going to say, like, mistakes, like what you were saying, like if adult make a mistake, like it can affect them badly. But like if we make a mistake, like it's like we get the make up for our mistake and like nothing negative will happen to us.
You have time, right? You got time to fix it, work through it, and get it going in that same direction. So absolutely. So as we get ready to close here, I think like we always do, I like to ask our young people to leave the adults a nugget, right? So this dear adult is right in that wheelhouse. TJ, I'm gonna swing your way first. Put a little thought into this for me. If you can give some adults one piece of advice on how to communicate with their teen, how they can reach their teen who may be dealing with something and going through something, what advice would you give a parent on how they can talk and communicate with their teenager? Give a little insight on how you and your dad communicate.
You would see where I'm coming from, like put himself in my shoes.
Okay. I understand. So put himself in your shoes. I'll swing back to you. If you ready right now, go ahead. I'll swing back to you. Eric, coming your way. Help us out. Help us adults. Help adults out here in Facebook land who are watching on how they can communicate with teens.
Maybe like doing some of the things that we like to do and kind of like understanding where we're coming from and not maybe where they're coming from and their perspective over things.
Okay. So breaking down and talking to you all on you all's level, right? Maybe talking that lingo. If it's communicating while you're playing a game, or communicating while you're listening to Rod Wave, or all these guys who you all listen to all the time, right? So doing it, kind of trying to do it your way, on your terms, for the most part. Maybe not all the way, but for the most part. Autumn, you had your hand up. Go ahead, jump in.
So I was gonna say, let your child be who they are. Like, let them be themselves around you, so they don't have to go around people and pretend.
Okay, so let you all be, let your child be yourself. Okay, I can dig that. Yahara, coming your way.
I would say trying to get their kid to trust them with certain things. Like, if I tell one of my parents something that I did and I needed their help with it, that they wouldn't like get real upset and just yell at me.
Okay, cool. Stay there for a second. So how do us as adults, how do we develop that trust with you all? Like, what does it take for us to get to that level where we can trust each other? Because trust is a two-way thing, right? You all have to trust us, we have to trust you. So how do we get to a point with our teenagers, or with the teenagers that we work with or that we engage with, where we can develop trust two ways?
We definitely have to stay open, I feel like, because if one person isn't being 100% honest all the time, and then you like find something out about it, it's just like not gonna work.
Okay, so honest, open and honest, that's a really a great answer, good insight. I hope people are taking notes, because those are in any relationship, not just with teens. Honesty and openness and being receptive to it is dope. Freddie, I see you shaking your head. Jump in, man.
Yeah, I mean, and TJ said it too at the end. He said, to be honest, and honest about everything, even if you don't understand something. Just whenever I'm trying to rap to him or his brother, before I even start, and it's easy for us adults, like you said earlier. We're quick to want to fix it and say, this is the way I did it, and you need to understand that, and I'm just telling you what to do. But sometimes you got to take a pause and figure out what they are thinking, right? And I learned that the hard way, because once your kids start shutting down, and now you're wondering, well, why don't they talk to me anymore? They don't share anything. Well, it's because you shut them down, because it's always about what you think they should do. And so we got to just make sure we listen to them. I always say this phrase, man, if it's about the kids, involve the kids and listen to them, right? They're the experts, not us, so we were kids way back when, they're kids now, so they're living experts, because they're the ones that are going through the things they're going through. So we got to listen to them first.
Absolutely. TJ, you got anything you want to add? I said I was going to circle back to you. I don't want to leave you out. Anything you can think about that can help us out? It seems like you and your dad have a good relationship. So share with us, what works for you all.
Being honest with one another.
Be honest. Yeah, that seems like a key component here. Coach Hayden, give adults a little insight. I know you work with teens on a daily basis. Some of the things that helps you engage and communicate with the teens you work with.
Maybe just to remain open-minded, because we are in a lot like new times, and things have changed a lot. And so that's one of the things. You always have to be open-minded and not just shake your head like, no, there's no way. Like, things change and people change. And I think when you remained open-minded, nothing can really be shut down.
Absolutely. And I think, piggybacking off of that statement, I think sometimes, and a lot of teens, and especially the ones that I work with here, sometimes they feel like people are already judging them before they can even say what it is they need to say, or feel however they want to feel. They feel like someone has already made their mind up, either it's good or bad, and they should do something different, instead of, like Freddie said, just taking a step back and letting them communicate to us how they feel, and not necessarily judging them. Because a lot of teens feel like us as adults, like we've already got our mind made up as bad before they can even tell us the full story. When they come home at night and they start off with, well, me and Johnny, our minds sometimes always go to, they're getting ready to tell me something bad. And it could be the complete opposite. So I think a lot of us have have to live in judgment-free zones. Not that we have to not care, but just take a step back and listen, and maybe not be so judgmental, because we're not going to understand a lot of the things that they're going through. We're not going to be able to. Sometimes we don't even have the answers. Like some of the social media stuff and some of the stuff they do, I can't even answer the question. I can listen and try to help them to work through it, but I don't have answers for some of the stuff that they're going through. A lot of the stuff that they're seeing in schools didn't happen in school when I was in school. So I don't necessarily know how to deal with that stuff. So I think being judgment-free, giving them a judgment-free zone to communicate is good. Ms. Regina, you want to jump in here?
Well, I just say, being willing to adjust and ready to learn. It's okay to learn as adults, and even me as an adult, a real adult, way adult, willing to listen and not being afraid to become the student. We don't know everything. And you know what? When these teenagers who are on the call tonight, when they become adults, they will have children who will teach them things. So we're always learning. We never know everything, no matter how old we get. There's always room for growth. There's always room for learning. And that's one thing that our teenagers are able to do. They're able to teach us a lot if we're willing to listen and willing to adjust. So that's what I like to say, and I also want to say that, time is on your side, teenagers, and make good use of it. Go ahead on and use it, because you can get it back. There's some things that you can do and take it back, but time you cannot get back. That's one thing that once it's done, it's done. So take advantage of the time that you have, do good things for yourself. Yeah. Some things that you do, they may not be successful, but you're always able to go back and redo. You can reset. Failure is not your future. So a lot of things that you're learning along the way is going to help you a little further on down the road. You can't see it now, but farther on down you get, the more you'll see. Because I found that when I was a kid, I knew everything. When I was 13, 14 years old, I knew absolutely everything. But you know what? I realized the older I got, the less I knew. And then things started to take shape in my life and perspective started to take over. So teen years are absolutely amazing. The only thing is that you have time now, but you won't have these teen years forever. So take advantage of them, use them wisely so that you'll get to the next level.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Regina. Great insight. And I want to take this time to thank our team panel, even though we worked through some technical difficulties. Zoom was definitely not our friend earlier, but we were able to work through it, and they were dedicated to come on tonight, because we actually considered pushing it back, and then this group said, no, we want to go on tonight, and we still want to have our dialogue and talk. So I definitely want to say thank you to all our group. And there's one young lady, Ari, unmute yourself, because I understand that you are a new member of a society. You want to talk a little bit about the society that you are a part of now through Progress Village Middle School?
Yes, I'm in the honor society at my school. I got accepted, and we're kind of like taking it slow right now, but it's kind of like stuff that prepares us for, like, what we want to do next in life, and like in our later on school years, I guess that's what you want to say. So
Absolutely. Well, a little birdie gave me that information, so I said that we definitely want to shout you out tonight and congratulate you on joining that society. And we know that you're going to represent your family and Tampa Parks and Rec and everyone as well in the National Honor Society. So congratulations to you. Freddie, I want to swing your way, man, and tell you thank you. You and TJ. TJ was the last minute stand-in for us, but he definitely held it down for us. I want to thank you all for coming on tonight, man. And I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about Safe and Sound, some of the stuff you all have going on, man, and how people can get involved with Safe and Sound.
Yeah, man. So, we're the Violence Prevention Collaborative. We focus on preventing youth violence, and it's all about keeping the youth informed and engaged, man. So we have community events all the time throughout all of Hillsborough County, but certainly in the city of Tampa. We just launched an initiative to help kids who make some mistakes. They may get arrested, but before they're placed on probation, they come to our evening reporting center. So similar to what you guys do over at the NFL Yet, we're doing that to help work with our young men, so that they know, as Ms. Regina just said, failure is not your future. And we pour love into them. We have mentors and volunteers. If you want to get involved in community efforts, especially to help our kids who make mistakes, just go to our website, get a contact information, safeandsoundhillsborough.org, and then we can get you plugged in. We've got other mentoring programs that we've launched over the last year, and we're always looking for better partnerships out there in the community, man. It's all about making sure that our youth know that they're not just our future, they're our present. And if we fail to realize that, then we're stuck in our past. And so I appreciate everything you do, Jamal and Ms. Regina and everybody here, but more importantly, I appreciate these young leaders that we got on here on the program, including one that, you know, I happen to call my son and my king, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, man. Shout out to you, TJ, man. I know you stepped in at the last minute, man, and held it down for us, man. We appreciate that. And all of our young people, Autumn and Yahara and Ari, Coach Hayden, who's always here with us, who gives us that young adult, close to teen perspective. I just appreciate you all so much. I look forward to every other Tuesday in Teen Talk Tuesday Facebook Live, only because this is an opportunity. This is a voice. Like, I wish I had a platform like this where I can talk to the masses about just being a teenager, right? Think about what a great outlet this is as a young person, to be able to share and express and talk about some of the things you're going through and how you feel. So young people, I can't even express how proud I am of you all for showing up and then doing this every Tuesday, because I know it's not easy. And like I said, we actually considered not doing it tonight, and it was the teens who said, "Oh, let's do it. Let's jump on and let's talk." So I'm extremely proud of you all. Ms. Regina, I'll give you a chance to say a couple closing words for us.
I'm sorry, I thought I was on mute. Did you hear me typing?
Yeah, we heard you. You were typing extremely loudly, but as you were typing,
I'm so sorry. You should have told me. I thought I was on mute. Just
no.
want to say, first of all, I just wanted to also congratulate Ari on the Honor Society there. And I don't know, did you say something about us doing something maybe for our graduating seniors in TLC, or?
Yes.
Something?
Yeah, so not our next Facebook Live, but the 2 lives from now, we're going to highlight some of we got quite a few TLC members who were graduating high school. A couple of them, I know we have one here at the Yet Center who was graduating college. Her graduation is, I believe, next week or week after. So we definitely want to highlight the accomplishments of our young people, because you can bet your bottom dollar if they were out doing mischievous things or getting arrested or doing something, somebody would definitely highlight that. So we got to go out of our way to highlight some of the good that they're doing out, not only just in the community, but academically, athletically, everything that they're doing, we want to highlight. So we definitely will be doing that.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what you read my mind, Jamal, because I wanted to say that, you know, we want to take this opportunity to say, you know, thanks and how much we appreciate all of the positive things that our young people are doing. It doesn't get recognized nearly as much as it should. So every time we get an opportunity to say thank you or congratulations to someone, we're doing that because it's just that important to us. And appreciate this platform tonight, talking about things that matter, and the Dear Adult thing. When is Mother's Day, by the way? Is that coming up real soon? Is that Sunday? Is it this Sunday? Okay, what a wonderful opportunity for our teenagers to say Happy Mother's Day to your mom or your the mother figure in your life. And I was reading something just yesterday, and it was talking about acknowledging things that people have done for you. And I would suggest that we all do that. Teenagers on here, and even the adults on here, you know, find a piece of paper and a pen. I know we don't do much of that. We talked about it a few sessions back, Jamal, about the pen and paper thing. I know we don't do a lot of that. Maybe you'd have to text it. I don't know. But find a way to let your mom know how much you appreciate her or the mother figure in your life. And just be good to yourselves. Take real good care of yourselves.
If any of our teens that are on tonight, or anybody who's watching hadn't gotten the Mother's Day gift yet, we'll be making macaroni art at the Yet Center. Cards and cigar boxes, the jewelry boxes. We old schooling it over here. So if you're short on cash and you need a gift for mom, swing by the Yet Center tomorrow about 4:00. We'll be making macaroni art Mother's Day gifts. So don't be shy. I won't tell nobody. We won't tell on you. But if you're stuck in the bind and you don't have a gift yet and you're low on cash, swing on by, make some. I promise you, she'll still like it. I'm making my mom one too, and she better use it and put some jewelry in the macaroni cigar box. So.
Come on. You know what? You can't get too many macaroni boxes. You cannot get too many macaroni necklaces, too many macaroni boxes. I'm telling you, I had so many of them at one time. I didn't know what to do with. But you know what? You can never get too many of those.
You love every one of them, right?
Every one of them, absolutely. And we also want to say shout out to the TLC groups who are watching tonight from all of the different parks all over the city of Tampa at the sites that have TLC. We're gonna have a next Tuesday night we get together, and so that's a whole nother story though. But we just want to say hello to everybody that's watching from TLC land.
And speaking of moms, Miss Regina, I think every time we're on, right? Hayden, your mom she already turning her lips up. Your mom always says hi on the Facebook Live. So Hayden, say hi to your mom. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself and say it.
Hi, Mom. I'll probably talk to you later on FaceTime.
Absolutely. Autumn, you know your mom is watching. So Autumn, say hello to your mom. She's watching on Facebook Live. No, unmute yourself and say it. You got to say it.
Hello, Mother.
There you go. There you go. Ari, you've got a bunch of people congratulating you on the Facebook Live on your National Honor Society induction. So you've got a lot of people who are supporting you. Miss Regina, you know this person quite well. Shirley Garcia Risler is watching, and she said, wonderful advice, and hey, Miss Regina.
Hey, Shirley.
Miss Shirley is recently retired, worked for the department. How long does Miss Shirley work for Parks and Rec?
A little more than 40 years, almost 41 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's watching on Facebook, and we've got so many people on the Facebook. I see Coach Kareem from Farrell's, Coach Donna from Copeland. I see rec leaders from TLC sites all across the city. So we want to thank you all for spending this time with us, even though we were a little late. You all still stuck around and spent a little time with us tonight. So with that being said, thank you to our young people. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. Freddie, you're always welcome, man. Open invitation. TJ, you're a part of the TLC family now too, brother. So anytime we've got something going on, or Freddie, you got something going on, Safe and Sound, Hillsborough, feel free, man. We definitely appreciate you, man, jumping on with us tonight and being patient with us as we worked out the technical difficulties. Our young people, I'm going to swing your way and give a happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Ari, I'll start with you.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Or every mother, my bad.
There you go. Yahara, I want to give a Mother's Day shout out.
Happy Mother's Day.
What about to your mom specifically? Did you say that to your mom specifically?
Not till Sunday.
Okay. All right. TJ, you want to give a Mother's Day shout out to anyone?
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Absolutely. Autumn, swinging your way.
Happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely. Coach Hayden, coming your way, even though you've already said happy Mother's Day to your mother.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms and grandmas and all the mothers.
Absolutely. Freddie, I'll swing your way.
Same thing. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, the grandmothers, the aunts, the caretakers, and any other female leader in anyone's life. You too are a mother. So just happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Absolutely. Miss Regina.
Happy Mother's Day. That's one of the most amazing jobs ever. It's not easy, but it's not hard either. Happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely. I'll say the same thing. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. She watched the last one. I'm not sure if she's watching now, but happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for everything. And like Freddie said, not just moms, not just biological moms, even our rec leaders, Miss Regina and Coach Hayden, and the many women who are around our department, right? Who play mother roles sometimes, who are those mother figures. So shout out to all mothers, grandmas, aunts, uncles, mentors, all of those who play mother roles. We've got, before we go here, I see we got Councilman Joe Cicho is watching. He said, good evening all and happy Mother's Day. So we've got Councilman Joe Cicho is watching too. Thank you, Mr. Cicho, for jumping on with us for a minute. With that being said, we want to wish everyone a good night. Before we leave though, as we always do, wear your mask, social distance, do all those things to keep yourself and your family safe so that one day soon we can all get back and do team talk in person. And I know, Freddie, you're ready to get back to events and get back to some sense of normalcy and get together in person. So wear your mask, social distance, follow all those guidelines so we can do this in person sometime soon. So with that being said, Facebook family, we see you again in 2 weeks, and everyone stay safe. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight, and everybody have a good night.
Hey, good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Regina.
Good night. Good work.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, bye.